right. Do you want to go out in the snow? Snowing, buddy. It's snow flurrying. Schools are out this morning. Come inside. Look at your little face. It's snowing. Come here. Come here. Let me see your face. Oh my goodness, you're so cute.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 10 of 2025. I've got my Labrador here, so I'm ready to start the day. So today is our first day back at home, and it's Wednesday, so a regular work day for me. So I'll be down in my basement working away. And Lori today is going to be cooking for the dogs. And so we still give them the dry kibble, but for a couple of reasons, we also like to make homemade food. We just do it with frozen vegetables and ground beef and rice and a couple of other things. We cook it for them and they eat off of that quite a bit, probably most of the time. We did it, I think, for two reasons, starting with Declan, who had some sensitive skin issues, and we tried a number of different things, and finally we concluded he's just sensitive to food a bit, maybe some food allergies. So rather than giving him the kibble every day, which he's not a big fan of anyway, uh, we decided to cook food and give that to him, more like human food. And for Clyde, Clyde is going to have a birthday in January, and he's getting up there. And we just thought it'd be better for his overall health if he got cooked food as well. So we do that now, and Clyde seems happier, and Declan doesn't have as many skin issues, so we're happy about that. And then Manapua just gets to come along for the ride and get the nice food, and he certainly appreciates it too. So Lori will cook for the dogs. They'll probably get a snack off of that, and then I'll be cleaning up the kitchen after her in between doing my regular work day. So that is our plan for the day, and you have a good one. We'll see you later. Bye.
So our dogs have just run out of their homemade dog food that we feed them. So today I am going to show you how I make their food. I've tried many different ways over the years. We've been cooking for the dogs for going on 3 years, and I found that the crock pot is the easiest and most texture-wise the best way to get a good dog food that will last the week without really going stale or stinking up our fridge. So first I line the crock pot, then I spray some olive oil. I bought this little sprayer on Amazon. It's really convenient. We also use it when we're cooking in the air fryer. And then I will usually do 2 to 3 pounds of a protein. I like to go to Kroger in the mornings. They have the clearance meat. So that's what I'm using here. When I see the clearance meat on the shelf, they usually put them out on Tuesday and Friday mornings. So after the weekend and during the week, I will scoop them all up. In the crock pot, you just want to put some sort of liquid to prevent the protein from sticking, but also to help later in cooking the rice. Here I'm using beef broth, but I've used chicken broth, vegetable broth. I've put in water and just put in a beef or a chicken bouillon cube. Then I add in the meat. Here, it's so easy because I just take the frozen meat and put it in the crock pot. It's that easy. And then I just kind of cover it and let it cook for a few hours. Easy. I've also used salmon, frozen chicken, and just putting the frozen proteins right in the crock pot is so easy and has really worked. Look at this guy. He likes to sit by the fireplace. So we do have these holiday stockings for the dogs. I found these actually at Walmart several years ago in Hawaii. So it says, I love my Labrador, and this picture looks just like Declan. And at the time we only had Clyde. This says, I love my Shih Tzu. This picture looks more like Manapua, but you know, because it was a Shih Tzu stocking, of course I had to get it. And then we have these little name tags. We have these little name tags for each of our stockings that I got on Etsy. But yeah, that's how much we love our dogs. They even get stockings. All right, doggies, come. Come. Come here. Oi. Manapoo-poos. Manapoo. Come here. Hey there. I just wanted to go over our 3 little doggies. If you've been watching our videos, you've seen our 3 dogs, Clyde, who is sitting right here, Manapua, who is our youngest, and then we have a golden Labrador named Declan. I just wanted to share the story of each of the dogs and their names. So let's start with Clyde. He's the oldest. Clyde. So I was never really a dog person. The kids were little, they would beg for a puppy. I mean, to the point where the 2 of them, their birthdays are 2 days apart in May, and they would say, all I want for my birthday is a puppy, or all I want for Christmas is a puppy. And this happened for probably the course of 2.5 years. Sasha was pretty young at the time. Let's see, 2014 would make her 6.5. And for Max, he was 10 and a half at that point. So they were just 2 cuties asking for a puppy. Sasha, who's the more peculiar one, wrote a list and put it right on the refrigerator. My future puppies' names. And she would have Kona, Mocha, a lot of different name ideas that she had. Max jumped on board his sister's wagon and made a list of all the chores and tasks that he would do for the puppy to convince mom, and I was a single mom at the time, to get them a puppy. Hi. So after a lot of just puppy dog eyes and trying to convince me that they deserved a puppy, I decided 1 year to surprise them. I was specifically looking for a hypoallergenic or a non-shedding dog, and I was introduced, or I was told that Lhasa Apso, Shih Tzus, that sort of breed did not shed. So I had seen, this is back in the day of Craigslist. I had saw an ad, and this is in Hawaii, of some Shih Tzu puppies. I was going to go visit the puppies and kind of see how I felt about it. Long story short, it was a family that had a litter of puppies. There was one female, and she was already accounted for, and then I think 3 males. And all 4 puppies came around the corner, and they were just these little fluff balls and tumbling over each other. But Clyde just kind of, or the puppy that would soon be Clyde, just kind of strutted over, looked at me, and just sat in front of me. And while the other puppies had a bundle of energy, I thought, okay, he's trying to connect with me. So he was the one I chose. So that is the story of Clyde. Clyde, the name was actually chosen by the kids. They were going back and forth on names, and Clyde, when that idea came up, it's actually the name of their dentist in Hawaii, Clyde Uchida, Dr. Uchida. So Clyde was the name that stuck. Clyde is now approaching 12 years old, so he's getting up there in age. Our next one, I'll talk about this one just because he's sitting in my lap, is a Shih Tzu. So as Clyde was getting older, when we moved to Virginia, he was slowing down a bit, and I got the idea that if we got a younger Shih Tzu, it would add life to his years. So this little guy, he's our little wild child. We drove to Tennessee to pick him up, and this little guy, he's the runt, was the one we chose. His parents' names both started with M, so we had decided to give him an M name. Since the other 2 dogs, Declan, who I will talk about in a little bit, was also from Hawaii, we wanted to give this little guy a Hawaiian name. There were a lot of names on the table, Maui, Mochi, but the one that just makes me smile when I say it, when I think of it, was Manapua. The Hawaiian word Manapua, if you break it up, mana is spirit or energy, and pua is flower. But a Manapua in Hawaii is known as this Hawaiian pork bun roll. So it has several meanings, but it just makes me happy when I say the name or the word Manapua. So thus, this is Manapua. He is our wild child. Get very excited at squirrels or someone walking by, or just even his own brothers. You know, if he's trying to get them to play with him, he will climb on top of them, steal treats, try to get in their business. He just loves attention. Our other dog, the Labrador, we actually got him when we were living in Hawaii. So Scott and I were living in Hawaii in 2019 to be closer to the kids. Previously, Scott had another Labrador that he just loved so much, but that had passed on a couple years prior. And I had mentioned that I saw that there was a litter that had just been born, and if he wanted to go visit them, and his face immediately lit up. At the time, we only had Clyde, but Scott says that he's a big dog person. So we drove to go see the Labrador puppies, and it was a litter of 13 puppies. They each had different color collars, and some were black, some were golden, and some were a reddish brown. Scott immediately fell in love with the green colored puppy. We asked the folks, you know, what order that he was born. He was number 8. The litter was also born in the month of August. So some of the names that we had talked about were Ocho or Augie for August. Sasha at the time, she was very, very, very insistent on naming him Declan. Apparently, there was a YouTuber that she followed that had a cat named Declan, and she loved the name so much that she wanted to name the Labrador puppy Declan. So, thus, his name became Declan. So, there comes a time in life, especially for women, where you've worked really hard up to this point. You've raised children, you've maintained households, had long careers, working hard, hustling, and your husband has, or your significant other, is off doing his own thing, hobbies. For Scott, he loves to cycle and ride his BMW Motorrad motorcycle across country. But for me, aside from tennis, one of the things that I love are many paws in the house. So we've got 12 paws with the 3 dogs. They are just my pride and joy. You will see the 3 dogs throughout all our videos. But again, for me, the age that I'm at, I definitely do require many paws to keep my sanity and be at peace. Despite whatever's happening anywhere else, I have these 3 dogs that just give us so much unconditional love, and we would do anything for. So yeah, with that, let's go check back on the homemade dog food that I'm making, see where it's at, and we'll go through the next steps. Look at this guy's chilling. We've got a big old dog bed on the couch covered with blankets because his hair gets everywhere. We actually, you might notice our couch has different color blankets from time to time. It's because we cover it because of this guy. Hi. Hi, big luggers. Did you miss us? Did you miss your snowy walks with Daddy? And Max just takes you on these quick 1-block walks. Yeah, I know. I know, baby. You're so cute. You're so cute. Oh, your expressions are so funny, too. It's been a few hours, and now I'm going to go check on the crock pot dog food that I'm making. You can see the meat is still cooking, so there's still a lot of red in the liquid. So I usually will just keep cooking for another hour or even 2 until it turns more brown and loses all that pink color. Then I add 3 cups of rice. The rice will absorb the liquid from the broth and the fat of the beef. I let that cook for about an hour, and then it really is starting to come together. So before I add the veggies, I stir the meat, and then I cook the frozen veggies per the package instructions. So a lot of things I like to add are corn, sweet potatoes, but I did not have sweet potatoes in the freezer this go around. The chopped broccoli. I used to buy the florets, and then I would have to cut them bite-sized because we have little dogs. But I discovered the chopped broccoli in the frozen section. Then peas and carrots. The dogs just eat this up. It's also good for their joints. After that, another thing I like to add, but I don't add it in this round, are eggs. Usually, either I will add eggs. When I've done it in this process, it stinked up the fridge, so I don't do it during this process. Also, riced cauliflower is another staple that I add to the dog food to give them extra nutrients and not have so much grain in their food. Albeit, I do add rice to absorb, the liquid, but absorbing that liquid, not draining the fat just gives them more protein in the food. Chopped spinach. Sometimes I skip this because it does tend to turn a dark green if you are cooking for more than a week. But I know this batch will only be for a week long. So I am adding in the chopped spinach. It's another one of those foods that if you don't use it right away, it does start to smell. So I don't always use it. This is pretty much the finished product. Like I said, we put them in tubs, then we will portion them out. I do it by the week. Sometimes, if we know it's going to be extra busy or we're traveling, we'll make a double batch to last 2 weeks. But like I said, I found that the crock pot method has been very easy. I don't have to defrost. We've tried it on the Blackstone in the summertime. It's just a lot of effort and a lot of cleanup. The wok is nice, but it's just a lot of cleanup. Period. You'll see here next, Scott's going to do the cleanup just from me using the crock pot.
All right, so Lori made fresh food for the dogs. So usually what happens is when you cook in the kitchen, you have dishes. So it's only fair if she did the cooking, I do the dishes. So I'm gonna do the dishes.
So that's a wrap on day 10. It's been a snowy day here, so we've stayed in. So you've seen a lot of dog content today. I think it's appropriate that I probably just label this Vlogmas episode as the dog episode. Two of the dogs do have their own Instagram if you're interested in following them. I can't say they post much, but Clyde's Instagram is clyde.aloha, and Declan's is also the same at declan.aloha on Instagram. Hope you are continuing to join us on this Vlogmas adventure. We're having fun doing it. It's been quite the learning experience, but nevertheless, our family and friends have given good feedback. If you've just stumbled upon us, we would love to hear from you. Post a comment. Today's emoji, I know I'm not consistent with the emojis. Since you've made it to the end, if you could post the little dog emoji that kind of looks very similar to Clyde, or the other dog emoji that looks more like a golden retriever. So if you could post either or both of those emojis, we would greatly appreciate it. It lets us know that you're watching and that you got all the way to the end. With that, enjoy your Friday, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye! Bye! Manapua's over there by the fireplace. Just chilling. Can you see him? Manapua! Say goodbye! All right. Bye.